Welcome back, Fun Fam, and if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to Follow the Bradley's Fun. My name is Ron E. Bradley. I hope that wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day, morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whenever it is. I hope it's great. Speaking of the day, as of the recording and live streaming of this, it is the 26th day of February, 2025. February is coming to a close, so fast, as it always does. It is I don't love February. I think it's my least favorite month of the year, even though I have there's some phenomenal people in my life that have birthdays this month at the very beginning of the month. But February is just, I hate, I think it would be fine if it weren't for bills. But you know, all those bills that you have at the end of the month, they all pile up and go really quick when you don't have those 3 extra days. It's amazing how much of a difference 3 extra days can make when it comes to paying bills, more especially than anything else. It's weird that we have 28 days in 1 month out of the year. I'm like, why don't you just do 2 months that are 2 months that are 31 days? Take 2 of those months and make them 30 days, and then we'd be fine. Like, who created the calendar that made February such a short month? That's such a strange thing when you think about the fact that we have enough 31-day months to make up for the February 28 days. I'm like, who did that? Why did it? It's so, I don't know. None of us are in charge of whoever came up with that weird calendar, but here we are. Let me see if I'm sounding okay today. I think I am. From what I can tell, it's weird because sometimes when I'm on the pro show, they talk about my mic not sounding, I don't know, right. And when I hear myself on this show and when I watch the playback, I'm always okay. So I don't know what's going on. I can always sit back. I can bring my mic back to here. I don't know. Double check later. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I don't know. Double check later. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let me go closer and see what happens. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let me go closer and see what happens. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Interesting. So I suppose that I could bring my mic a little bit closer, and then I can talk without so much fervency. I don't know. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? You guys good? It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. And at the end of this week, it's also the end of this month, and we start over again March 1st, already the 3rd month of the year. And February just went so quick. It seems like January, because we were getting a new president January the 20th. January was sort of slow, and then the 20th happened, and then President Trump became president and was inaugurated, and then he just started doing stuff so fast that the month just like we got all this just news piled on us, and it's like it was so much and just went by really, really fast. At least it did to me. I don't know. I just feel like the month went by super fast. I'm trying to check out some things here. Okay. Anyway, hopefully everybody in the chat is good. I see 19 folks out there coming in here. Let me say hi to everybody. Obviously, thank you so much for coming in today and helping make sure that I'm up and awake. I wasn't feeling very good last night, so I had to skip out on Lorena's Tuesday night Spice Lounge, but she had some good guests. I was checking her out a little bit, the show, and it looked like it went very well for her, the Spice Lounge on Tuesday nights. I like to be a part of that show, but I'm old, and my energy doesn't always want to let me keep up with everything that I am supposed to do and get done. But today I feel better. I think today's going to be a good day. It feels like it's going to be a good day. How about to you? Does it feel like it's going to be a good day to you guys? Let me know in the chat, because you guys, if you know anything about me, you bring me the energy. It's not just the caffeine, it's you. It's wanting to be here. It's waking up and knowing that you guys are out there. That gives me the energy, the energon. You're like the energon to my Transformers. So like when I say that, the Transformers needed their energon to do their stuff, and you guys are my energon that makes this guy transform and roll out of bed in the morning.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy! Energy! This stuff's the greatest!
This stuff is the greatest. And you guys, you are the greatest audience on the internet. Thank you so much. And we love each and every one of you, and we appreciate each and every one of you being here all the time. Speaking of being here, if you are new here, then you're watching this for the first time live, or perhaps on the replay, and you're just coming in. I know I'm getting a lot of new subscribers lately. Please do click that like button. That really helps us out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. And if you have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you are still subscribed, as YouTube likes to play games sometimes. And obviously, click that notification bell. When you click it, you stick it to the YouTube algorithm, and you get notified of all of our uploads here and follow the Bradley's Fun. Let's say hi to everybody who has come through the door so far. And if you're coming in right now, please say hi to me in the chat, and I can say hi back to you. So we have Jeremy Heath says, hello, hello. First in the door, Native Hawaiian. Aloha and good morning. Aloha, Native Hawaiian. Aloha. Jeremy Heath morning at Jeremy Heath morning at Jeremy Heath says, good morning to Native Hawaiian. And this is me on my watch channel. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Dude man cause hitchhiking ghost. Good morning, friends. I got to get my Haunted Mansion video out. I'm started to edit that. Today, hopefully, will be a big time editing day for me, and I will start to get a lot more videos. I want to get my videos out, ready to go, and have 4, 5, 6, 7 of them in the hopper. Because as I was putting out videos last week, I noticed an uptick in my views. So got to get more individual videos out and not just this morning's show. Braylon Lee is here. Says, hey, good people. What is up? Braylon Lee in the chat. Good morning, beautiful people. That service dog says, good morning, beautiful people. I'll be listening while I work out, so I won't be active in chat much, only when I'm slacking off. Not slacking off. That service dog, when you're working out, you have to take breaks to breathe. I always have to catch my breath when I'm working out. That is the hardest thing for me about working out. The hardest thing for me about getting in shape is not working out. The hardest thing about working out is breathing. The hardest thing about getting in shape is eating right. I love carbohydrates. I just love them. It's so hard for me to give up bread, or even to reduce it, or just do like brown rice. Like what they say, like chicken, broccoli, brown rice. Actually, I like eating all that stuff. I don't mind chicken, broccoli, and brown rice. But man, I tell you what, I love food. You can put anything in front of me. You put crickets in front of me, I'll eat them. I literally have a box of crickets that I could eat right now. I don't care. I've eaten rattlesnake before. True story. I was a kid at the time. It's on a stick. It's really good. Maybe it was a hot dog. Maybe they just lied to me, but it, could have been rattlesnake. Doesn't matter. Really matter. I will eat it. And food is a huge weakness of mine, so I got to get my food in check. Otherwise, all this working out's for naught because I haven't lost a bit of weight yet. I've fluctuated like 4 pounds up and down, but I haven't actually lost weight. So maybe some of my muscle mass is growing as some of my fat is going down, but overall I'm the same weight. MDW says, good morning, pulling myself together. I'm heading back to Oregon today. Need to get my stuff in the car. Well, if you're heading back to Oregon, where are you? Are you here? Are you in Florida? Wait, Oregon from Florida, that'd be a huge drive. I love Oregon. The coast, Oregon coast, so beautiful. Gorgeous coast. Good afternoon. Follow the Bradleys and chat. Well, good afternoon to you, Juliet and Pam. Also, I believe both of you all are in the UK. And Equus Hart says, good morning. Hope everyone is well. Canadian family life is not in the UK, but in Canada, up there in Canada. Hey, Tiffany. Hello to those in the 51st state. That was a joke. It's never going to happen. That's I think that's just some trolling that's going on out there. By the way, it wouldn't make sense for Canada to be the 51st state anyway, because there are provinces. So it would be like however many provinces there are, it'd be that many more states. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. Canada and the United States are two very different countries ideologically. So I don't think the United States wants Canada or Mexico. Maybe Greenland as a territory, but I don't even know if that makes much of a difference. Every time I think of Greenland, I think of The Princess Bride. Do you want me to take you back to where I found you in Greenland? Jeremy says that my audio and video are good. Well, that's good. Dylan Soup says, hey, Ron, sup chat? What is up, Dylan Soup? And Going Shogi, another great wrench, is here. I love all my wrenches. Jeremy, Going Shogi, Native Hawaiian, all you guys, thank you for wrenching out of that this morning. Jonathan Rubin is here. I heard Ariana Grande is trying to preserve Tower of Terror. I'm not sure she alone can make that happen. Why would Tower of Terror go away? I haven't heard anything about Tower of Terror going away, especially at Hollywood Studios. There's a reason why Tower of Terror would not go away at Hollywood Studios. It's because of the way it's built. It wouldn't make sense. Pink T33 says, hey, y'all. And Dan, are you out at the parks today? Dan's Life at the Kingdom says hi. Good morning, Ron. Guardians is getting all the attention it deserves. That's good. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. But thanks to the virtual queue that just ended, I have ridden Guardians of the Galaxy so many times that I don't really feel the need to ever wait in line to ride it, unless the line is 30 minutes Okay, everybody. I don't know what happened there, but my laptop lost its connection to the internet, so I had to switch over to my phone's Wi-Fi. Yes, indeed, we're back. You know, if you're watching a show like this and that kind of thing happens, don't stop watching the show. We'll be back. We will be back. Where was I, though? Where was I? Let's see. We've got Andy W. said she's in Nevada. And what's my opinion on sticking to a healthy diet around the parks? Is it tough? No. If you've got your mindset, you're fine. In the parks at Disney, it's super easy. I just always get salmon. There's salmon dishes everywhere at Disney. So if I really want to eat healthy at Disney, I'll just get the salmon dish and I'm fine. And you can get it with just grilled chicken too, or whatever. But there's plenty of places where you can get salmon, broccoli, and brown rice or mashed potatoes or something like that. And you're fine. Andy W is in Nevada and heading back to Oregon to the coast. You guys, let me double check my everything is working right again. Hello. You guys, let me double check my. Yep. Sounds like everything's working right again. That was weird. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know. The internet was very, very strange. It's good now. So I'm just gonna have to do it off Wi-Fi the rest of the show here today. Service Dog says I've had bariatric surgery a year and a half ago, still working on 50 pounds, highest weight 365, current 229, 220. That's amazing. That is really, really, really good weight loss. That Service Dog 365 is pretty high. The highest I've ever been in my life is about 270, 270, 271, which is still kind of where I am now. Nothing really with the food has changed, so I know what to do and I know how to do it, and it's a mental thing. I got to get myself to do it. Arlene Navo says, okay, I was just planning on listening this AM, but I had to hop in when I heard about snack crickets. I've had dried crickets too, Ron. I need to find a recipe for Chirpy Chex Mix and send it your way. I would imagine you could just put them in there. So the dry snack crickets, they sell them at Universal Studios here. You can buy them. Different flavor. I got like a bacon cheese flavor here, but I bought it last year. So when it comes to dry crickets, do they stay good? Do they spoil? Are they okay for a long time? If they are, then I can still eat them. Skycast says, good morning and good afternoon, Bradley family. We got several people watching, I think, from the UK, so I appreciate that. Everybody that's watching from the States. As a matter of fact, if you're watching from the UK, let me know in the chat. Just say, hi, I'm watching from the UK. I appreciate that. And then Dan's Life the Kingdom says, not today, I'm working. No one cares about Tiana. Something weird is happening with me. That was me. Because, I just went dark. It was weird. Uh-oh. Ron's frozen in time. I was frozen in time there for a minute, but I'm back. R.I.P. me. Pause. This is when I paused. This is when hopefully everybody's come back. Cosmic pause, yes. Cosmic rewind, cosmic pause. Yes, I am back and better than ever. Huzzah! Huzzah! Yes, and we're back. Splash Mountain will always be better. That is, wait, where did that go? Max Mantel says Splash Mountain will always be better. Absolutely 100% true. Cook and fully cool your potatoes, rice, and pasta. It increases the resistance starch content, which makes it harder to digest. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't spike your sugars much and has probiotic qualities. cook and fully cool your potatoes, rice, and pasta. Interesting. That is good to know. I appreciate that. Even on reheating, that resistant starch restrictor stays intact. Very cool structures. And I got you. Juliet says, hey there. Skycast says, Splash Mountain needed maintenance, not necessarily replacement. Splash Mountain did not need replacement, Skycast, at all. And Disney admits that it didn't need replacement. They didn't replace Splash Mountain because it needed to be replaced. They replaced it because an extremely small minority of people, maybe like 2% or less, considered it to be problematic. And by trying to please the small, vast minority of people, Disney has pissed off the vast majority of people. And see, when you're virtue signaling and when you're trying to play to an extremely tiny minority of people, that's what happens. When you're trying to be inclusive and you're, here's the problem with inclusivity, okay? Inclusivity says, I want to include even the people that some people think are bad, because who knows, they might be fine. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter, all right? The problem with inclusivity is this. If I hand you a bag of M&Ms, 10,000 M&Ms, and say, you know what? I need to include one M&M that has arsenic in it, and hope that you're okay with it. Well, guess what? Without meaning to, you have ruined the entire bag of M&Ms by putting one M&M with arsenic in it. Even if some people like arsenic. Never eaten insects before. May I ask how crickets taste? Guessing high in protein and nutrients. They are high in protein and nutrients. The crickets I've had have flavoring on them. They're dried and then they're roasted. They are produced for human consumption specifically. They're grown for human consumption specifically. So they're grown. Those crickets are not like harvest. They're picked it out. Like there's like factories that grow crickets, that farm crickets, right? And they grow them from human consumption, and therefore it's a sterile environment and all this other stuff. So then they're dry roasted and they put some flavoring on them. And what they typically taste like is kind of like sunflower seeds. That is the best way that I've ever heard them described. They kind of taste like sunflower seeds, texture and flavor wise and everything. But sometimes you get a leg stuck in the corner of your mouth, and that's kind of gross. The Bud File says, good morning. You're here. Good to see you. And we've got Arlene Navo. Yeah, you add it to Check Mix, and you also spice them up a bit. Put them in the oven for a short while too. Yep. Happy Wednesday, everyone, from Jessica Lynn Original Studios. Well, thank you for being here, Jessica Lynn Original Studios. Good to see you. And look at that. You got your member emojis. Woohoo! Splash should have never gone away. They should have updated. You are 1,000% correct. I said good afternoon because I'm on a mountain time. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Very cool. I need to, I guess 10 o'clock is like afternoon, right? Tiana should have just been based on the movie. Like here's my thing. If you can't have Dr. Facilier, you can't have this in a mountain, because Dr. Facilier is the only reason why a mountain would have popped up in the bayou. Like, it would kind of make sense if you said, well, Dr. Facilier, like, I think that it should have been Tiana and Prince Naveen trying to get some kind of a special ingredient for their party. If they want to do like a Mardi Gras party thing, not musicians, that's just dumb. Like, New Orleans is filled with musicians. But on the pathway to get whatever you needed to get, Dr. Facilier popped up. He's back in your way. He creates this big mountain and he shrinks you down at the same time. They can do it that way, but it was crap. The way they did it was crap. All right, enough talking about crickets. I do wish YouTube would not change back to top chat. Yeah, I don't know what that means in the chat, but anyway, speaking of the chat, we do have this thing we like to call a celebration in the chat, right? For those of you that are members, of those of you who've been here before, you know what the celebration is. But well, Go and Shogi has given us a reason for that celebration by gifting 5 memberships. So that is Chris Guns and Gardens, KC3D Phantom Repeat, and Poise Gesture 90. Congratulations, you got gifties from Go and Shogi. And thank you so much for that support, Go and Shogi. We appreciate it. You didn't have to do that, but I absolutely appreciate it. And what do we do when we get something like this? Well, we do a celebration. And what does a celebration look like? Looks something like this. That's a fun one, right? All right. So, So anytime there are super chats, super thanks, super stickers, gifted memberships, as we just had, or somebody becomes a member, or I see a PayPal pop up on my phone. We see somebody buy something like this from the spread shop. Go and Shogi got the hat. I'd love to show it, but I don't know if he wants his face shown, so I'm not gonna do it. But he sent me the picture. It looks really, really good. So Braylon Lee says that Darth Vader takes me out every time. I didn't know he got down like that. That was during Star Wars weekend, so it was so good. Anytime we have any support from you guys out there, and I'm so grateful for that support. I gotta be honest with you. I love it. I love you guys. I appreciate that. And even if somebody buys something from the spread shop, we're going to do a celebration. What is the spread shop? Well, let me see if I can share that here real quick. We got to share the screen. You say you don't mind it? Let me see if I can find it. Follow the Bradley's Fun. Okay, here it is. I'm going to share this just so you can see. Let me put my spread shop on screen. Add to the stage. There it is. Make Disney Walt again. That's this hat right here. And I am not the only one that wears it. Actually, I'm not even sure if I have it saved. Yeah, it's not in my Google Photos, so I can't really bring it up on the screen right now. But that's okay. So here's our spread shop. We got Follow the Bradley's Fun. We got Make Disney Walt again. We've got Follow the Bradley's Fun, the fedora shirts. We've got our family logo, our family avatar from the channel. This is the women's basic t-shirt. And what does it look like? And this is my favorite. Heather Black. I love that. I think that's a really good, classy, classic look. And that is the spread shop. The hat is really comfortable. Yes, I wear it every day. So it's I've worn it out to I would wear this. Probably I'll wear this every time I go to Universal, or might wear it to SeaWorld. I don't know. Typically, I like to wear my fedora when I'm out, but I'll wear this hat. I wore it at the Geeks and Gamers meetup, so that was fun. And I saw other people with this hat like this on. So that was cool. So people like my Make Disney Walt again saying. But anyhow, we want to start getting to stories. What time is it, by the way? 10:10. I do have the redirect already set up. For Culture Casino this morning. So my top story is going to be about Tiana's Bayou adventure. I got a couple others that I want to get to, and I'm trying to see. I'm double checking to see the ones that I definitely want to cover here. I think it's just the two of them. Yeah. All right. Got to get after it. So when I'm fiddling around and looking for assets, it's kind of one of the reasons I'm trying to cut these so that they. My internet going bad. Is my internet going wonky again? Uh-oh. All right, there we go. My internet was wonky on me for a second there. I don't know what's going on with my internet today. It's really, really wonky. I really, really need to. I wish there was there's Spectrum stores, but those aren't really Spectrum offices. I need to talk to somebody. Yeah, it never seems like it's going to be there. It always seems like it's just going to be announced eventually. To be announced, TBA. But yeah. Tiana is one princess. I don't think Tiana's problematic as princess. But right now, what Disney has on its hands is another princess that has been so far quite problematic, and Disney's trying to spin her so that she's no longer so problematic. And that's, of course, Rachel Zegler as Snow White. We're going to put this on the screen right now. This is out of That Park Place. Rachel Zegler attempts to walk back Snow White criticism in interview with polished Disney PR spin. Oh, the spin. This is, of course, out of That Park Place. This is by Marvin Montanaro. Rachel Zegler, there she is in all of her glory. Rachel Zegler, the star of Disney's live-action Snow White, appeared to be walking back her controversial comments about the original 1937 animated classic in a recent interview, but in a way, that felt more carefully crafted by corporate PR rather than a genuine change of heart. Very, very true. In a recent interview with Vogue Mexico, Zegler rebranded the backlash against the film and her earlier remarks as a sign of passion from fans. Yes, sure she did. I think that she was probably given exactly what to say. Disney said, you need to stick with this or we are firing you from any upcoming projects. And you're probably not going to be, I mean, this is very, very difficult. They're in the marketing phase of trying to sell Snow White to the public over the next 3 weeks to try to get people to go out and watch this. sloth, but I think they're going to have a difficult time with it because after 3 years of horrible comments from Rachel Zegler, 1 month of trying to apologize, I don't think is going to make up for it. Rachel Zegler says, quote, I interpret people's sentiments toward this film as passion, end quote, Zegler said. What an honor to be a part of something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us, and all we can do is our best. Quotes translated from Spanish to English by Variety. While this may sound like a diplomatic response, it sharply contrasts with her tone from months ago when the Snow White remake first came under fire. Zegler originally criticized the 1937 classic, calling it dated and referring to the prince as someone who literally stalks Snow White. She dismissed the original storyline by saying it's not 1937 anymore, and very evidently so, signaling her disapproval of the film's core themes. She balked at the idea of Snow White's primary dream being finding true love, as though love and happiness isn't something anyone should aspire to. God forbid we should all want love and happiness in our lives. Now, by labeling fan backlash as passion, Zegler is attempting to reframe the conversation in a more positive light, a classic corporate PR tactic. Instead of directly addressing her past comments or issuing an apology, she's chosen to reinterpret the criticism as rooted in love for the original film rather than disapproval of her. I would say it's likely both, but very much more sided towards the disapproval of the not just what she said, but the way she said it. It was so condescending. She just has an incredibly condescending tone when she speaks to anybody that is an audience member. And I'm talking left or right. She is not a kind person with her words. The approach allows her to appear gracious while sidestepping responsibility for the very controversy that she fueled. The shift in tone from defiant to diplomatic. When Zegler was first cast as Snow White, her statements were bold, defiant, and unapologetic. She made headlines for declaring, yes, I am playing Snow White. No, I'm not bleaching my skin for the role. A comment that sparked widespread debate, even though there was no significant public call for her to do so, which is true. And there wasn't really a whole lot of backlash in the beginning. When she first got cast, there were people, was a little bit of backlash, but really not much. Her early comments were clearly meant to paint her as someone willing to challenge the status quo, but they instead alienated many fans who felt she was disrespecting a beloved classic. This is nightmare fuel, by the way, the Seven Dwarfs looking in this thing. It's ridiculous. So fast forward to now, and her language has softened. What an honor to be part of something that people felt so passionately about, Zegler now says, a stark contrast to her previous dismissals of the original film. The shift feels less like personal realization and more like an orchestrated attempt to mend public perception, invoking identity to shift the narrative. In her Vogue Mexico interview, Rachel Zegler also brought the conversation back to her heritage and the challenges of representing diverse communities in Hollywood. I understand that the conversation comes from the community not wanting to be seen as a monolith, but the reality of being Latino and working in this industry is that we try to represent the entire diaspora, she said. I know where I've been. I represent it in my narrative. I carry it in my heart every day. No one can ever tell me that it's not a part of me. The timing of this statement is notable. By invoking her identity, Zegler subtly shifts the focus away from the original criticisms about the film's content and her comments, reframing the conversation around diversity and inclusion. Is another classic PR strategy. Direct the narrative to a broader issue to deflect individual criticism. Why this feels disingenuous? The biggest reason Zegler's recent comments feel hollow is that we've seen how she really behaves in unscripted moments. The latest Rachel Zegler interview reads more like a polished PR statement than an outspoken personality audiences have come to know, especially when compared to her public outbursts. A prime example is her reaction following the last U.S. presidential election. Zegler faced major backlash after posting an emotional outburst on social media where she lambasted President-elect Donald Trump and his supporters, stating they should never know peace. The backlash from that post was so intense that she was forced to issue a formal apology. And here are those statements that she made. I feel I'm going to put them on the screen real quick. Don't really feel the need to read them, but if you want to pause the video here to read them yourself, you are more than welcome to. That Rachel Zegler apology, much like her recent Vogue Mexico interview, echoed all the hallmarks of corporate damage control, carefully worded, vague on specifics, and aimed at calming the storm rather than expressing genuine remorse. Her new comments about Snow White feel eerily similar. The same polished diplomatic language used in her apology is now being applied to her comments about the film's backlash. It's difficult for audiences to reconcile this toned-down rhetoric with more combative and defiant Zegler they've seen in interviews and on social media. And might I say, that's the past 3 years, because the first time her negative comments ever came out was all the way back in 2022 at the D23 event. At that point in time, filming for Snow White had actually wrapped. The first time, that was 3 years ago. Think about the amount of reshoots they've had to do over the last 3 years to get this thing ready. Oi! Is Disney behind the curtain? It's hard to ignore the possibility that Disney's PR team had a hand in crafting these statements, with Snow White facing dismal box office projections and a slew of negative press from trailer dislike ratios hitting the millions to the controversies surrounding the film's portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs. Nightmare fuel. There's a clear pressure to course correct the narrative. Zegler's comments now read less like a personal reflection and more like corporate damage control. This shift also aligns with Disney's recent marketing strategies. As covered in previous articles, the studio has been steadily reducing Zegler's screen time and promotional materials, focusing instead on Gal Gadot's portrayal of the evil queen. Trailers have cut Zegler's presence by nearly 50%, and even recent TV spots have leaned heavily on the nostalgia from the 1937 film, attempting to remind audiences of the original magic while downplaying the significant changes in the remake. So will this Snow White PR strategy worked? Zegler's recent comments may soften backlash, but for many fans, it might be a little too little, a little too late. Hey, that's kind of like what I said on my X post, where I said, too late, too little, too lying. The internet rarely forgets, and the stark contrast between her earlier defiant tone and her new diplomatic approach makes this shift feel disingenuous. With Snow White already facing lackluster projections, expected to open between $63 to $70 million domestically against a $300 million budget, this PR spin may not be enough to salvage the film's reputation. In the end, Zegler's backpedaling highlights a broader issue. Audiences can spot inauthenticity a mile away. On top of that, the new media, composed of bloggers, YouTube personalities, and independent news organizations outside the Hollywood bubble, won't buy into the spin the way the mainstream access media always has. While Disney and its stars scramble to control the narrative, fans remain unconvinced, and Snow White continues to face an uphill battle as its release date draws near. So my question for all of you is, what about you? Will you be going to see Snow White? Will you be going to see Zegler in this live action remake? Do you think that the Seven Dwarfs are nightmare fuel, or are they good to CGI? Drop a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on this particular story of Snow. More of a snow job than Snow White. Let's see here. We got Fairbrick Studio is in the house. I see you just came in. Hello. Let's see what Jessica Lynn has to say. I hope they edit it so much the snow is all about love, 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 and that stalking Prince bombs. Yeah, they've changed. I think they've changed the story completely from what it was when the first interviews were done. I don't think she talks about the stalking Prince anymore because I think they gave the Prince a bigger role during the reshoots. That would be my guess. Because initially she was talking about the Prince getting cut out completely. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I also remember we noticed the race up, but it wasn't thrown constantly in our faces. I just looked at it like, oh, this is like the Wiz. Cool. See, here's the thing about they didn't really. I don't think that they race swapped Zegler so much. She presents as like if you look at her, she can very much present as a white person. She can very much present as a Latin person. As a matter of fact, a lot of Latin and white people can go back and forth. It really doesn't matter. Like I know very, very white people that are actually Spanish in their heritage, very, very light skin. And I know some very, very dark skinned people that are German or English or whatever. Skin color doesn't necessarily denote even your race, to be honest with you. Race isn't about skin color. That is a whole different ballgame. Jewish is a race, for example, not really about skin color. So the thing about her casting, she can present looking very much like the original Snow White. The problem is that her casting, I always said her casting was bad because she belts her music when she sings. She doesn't sound like Snow White, and she doesn't present herself as demure and just scared as heck when she goes into that forest and all of those things. So when she finds the dwarfs, she's supposed to be very lovingly and mother-like to them, and that's not going to happen with this version of Snow White either. Just because Rachel Zegler, she's the wrong actress for the job, regardless of her horrible comments. I think, and I always say this, I'm going to stick to this. I think that she would have been a better casting as Belle in Beauty and the Beast than the Hermione girl. I can never remember that actress's name, but it was Hermione Granger, the actress that played Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter movies. She played Belle in the live action Beauty and the Beast. And Rachel Zegler would have actually made a pretty good Belle. Based on her voice, her vocal talents, and the way that she sings. And also the fact that Belle was very outspoken. From the very beginning, Belle kind of had that, hey, I'm a woman, hear me roar attitude. And she didn't have to win over the Beast. The Beast had to win over her. And that's kind of what makes that movie work. And that would have worked, I think, for Rachel Zegler. She probably would have been a good Belle, but she wasn't around back then, I guess, when they were doing that movie. Would have been good though, I think, if she would have, but instead she's Snow White and she's awful as Snow White. Yes, her casting as was such a mistake. Yeah, Belle, hear me roar. I see what you did. Yeah, and it could have been if they would have done her as Belle, it could have been Beast and the Beast instead of Beauty and the Beast, right? So that would have been great. Anyway, we want to move on to the next story. I gotta find this back in Park Place, and that is what they're doing to the parks right now. So, as you know, Disney has changed a lot of their websites so that they look like they've gotten rid of DEI and they look like they've gotten rid of Reimagine Tomorrow. They look like they've gotten rid of the Stories Matter groups. I think they're all rebranding and going underground and all that kind of stuff. But basically, they are toning down the virtue signaling and they are eliminating the virtual queues. So as they've done that, one of the things that we've seen happen from that elimination of the virtual queue is Tiana. Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So we're going to talk about Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I want to make sure this is fully loaded in before I bring it up here. All right, so if anybody saw my coverage of Tiana's Bayou Adventure last year, that is, I got a lot of views on those videos from Tiana's Bayou Adventure last year as I was doing the coverage, as it was getting ready to open and all this. And by the way, something that may happen this year that's kind of the opposite of that is Test Track 3.0. I actually think, and I'm going to tell you this, I think Test Track 3.0, I hope it's going to be a winner. I think it's going to be a winner. I didn't like Test Track 2.0 at Epcot. And everything it looks like that they're doing with Test Track 3.0 looks like it could be pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to cover that this year. It's actually the only thing. Oh, no, there's two things at Disney that I'm excited about at Walt Disney World. One is the opening of Test Track 3.0 because I actually think it's a good upgrade. Test Track 3.0 is maybe what they should have done with Splash Mountain. Instead of changing it over to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they should have just upgraded the current animatronics that were in it. And had Splash Mountain 2.0, but they didn't go that way. So Test Track 3.0, I think is going to be a really cool thing, and I hope that it is. That's one thing I'm excited about at Walt Disney World, and the other thing I'm excited about at Walt Disney World is a nighttime parade coming back to the Magic Kingdom. That's it. It's the only two things. Other than that, I'm very, very excited for Epic Universe opening. And as a local Orlando person who can go to both, you can pretty much guess which one I'm going to choose to go to as much as I can. Unfortunately, I will say Epic Universe is going to prevent me from going there as much as I'd like to in its opening year or possibly years. I may not be able to get there nearly as much as I want to because I don't think they're opening annual passes for that park for a while. So we'll see. But I know what's over at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and they removed the virtual queue. What does removing the virtual queue from Tiana's Bayou Adventure tell us about the popularity, or perhaps the popularity of the attraction? Well, we're going to find out by looking at this article out of thatparkplace.com. Removal of Tiana's Bayou Adventure virtual queue reveals Splash Mountain replacement just isn't popular. It's all about popular, and this one is not that popular. So this is out of thatparkplace.com. Removal of Tiana's Bayou Adventure virtual queue reveals Splash Mountain replacement just isn't popular by WDW Pro. And there's a picture of the little froggy frogs on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. February the 25th was the first day that Disney decided to have Tiana's Bayou Adventure function without a virtual queue, going into a normal line for the attraction. And boy, did it not go well. For the first time ever, the Splash Mountain replacement was revealed to not be very popular at all. The weather was warm. The ride didn't even open until later in the day, which should pump up the wait time. And still, it was one of the shorter lines at Magic Kingdom. This is true. In the middle of the pro show yesterday, I looked, and the line wait was shorter for Tiana's Bayou Adventure than it was for Dumbo. And this is out of X, Aaron Co. This ride sucks. Hashtag WDWNT. It's not because it's cold. Tiana's Bayou Adventure wait time only 20 minutes on first day with standby queue at Magic Kingdom. Yeah, it was in the mid 60s. So for people in Michigan or the UK or anybody that's visiting from colder places like that, it was actually a pretty warm day for those people. And WDWNT had commented that Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Magic Kingdom only has a 20-minute wait posted for its first day with a standby queue. From the opening of the attraction until Space Mountain closed for technical difficulties, Tiana's Bayou Adventure hovered between 25 to 45 minutes for its wait time. Some reports suggest that the wait may have also been a bit exaggerated. With a virtual queue, people could just stand in a normal line, and despite Splash Mountain having been the most popular attraction in the world, not just in Magic Kingdom, its reskin was often a shorter line than the carousel in Fantasyland. This was revealed live during the pro show as it was happening. Yes, it was. That was me. I'm the one that brought it up. True story. Yes, I'm tooting my own horn here, but I did do that. In all fairness, once Splash Mountain was taken offline completely during the day, Tiana's Bayou Adventure finally did get a significant line. That may have been because with both Space Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad unavailable, as well as long lines for Tron and Seven Dwarfs, people just finally had nowhere else to go. So Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was 75 minutes, Space Mountain was nil, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure finally got up to a 65-minute posted wait time at 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so over at Epcot, one other ride received a normal line for the first time ever, dropping its virtual queue system for a real line. Cosmic Rewind, however, opened with a far different results than Tiana. The attraction quickly zoomed to over an hour's wait right out of the gate. Scott Gusson says, welcome to the freaking world of wait times. Only he didn't say freaking. Yes. Now you can put one finger before that 35-minute wait, currently posted for 135. Oh, golly, that's funny. The little, when he held the thumb. Okay, as one might expect, Cosmic Rewind had significant fluctuations throughout the day in wait times as people get accustomed to the ride being more than just a pay-to-ride additional DLC. That's lightning lane. For both attractions, the change may have essentially been forced upon Disney World management. Frontierland is more like a ghost land without Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That meant Pecos Bills was being severely underutilized, putting stress on other Magic Kingdom restaurants. At Epcot, meanwhile, there simply aren't enough attractions. With Cosmic Rewind going into normal attraction availability, all of Epcot has a grand total of 9 rides. 9. That's it. By the way, Grand Fiesta Tour is down right now, so that might mean 8. But at least that's better than the Animal Kingdom with all of 5 open attractions. But the takeaway for today most certainly has to be Disney spent hundreds of millions of dollars to take their most popular attraction and turn it into something that gets less interest than the carousel. It's an L for the House of Mouse in a very visible way that we haven't seen until today. Yes, I think that Disney is going to, in a big way, have to take the L on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, as I call it, Broccoli Mountain, because the mountain looks like it's covered with broccoli, and there just aren't that many people that love broccoli. Let's be honest. Yes. If Epcot had more than 9 rides, the wait wouldn't be an issue. That's probably true. Epcot, when Grand Fiesta Tour is reopened and Test Track 3.0 is reopened, it will be a little bit better. But also, Epcot's not a ride-centric park either. Epcot's a festival-centric park, although right now there are no festivals going on. So we will see what happens when the festivals come back. But before we come back, we have to celebrate the fact that Go and Shogi gifted 5 Follow the Bradley's Fun memberships, and I like our newest celebration for that. Let's celebrate. And right now, we are going to send you right over there to Culture Bear because it is time for his 6-minute daily. I'm going to try and get some of these videos from these stories cut into videos on the channel if you want to watch those later. Otherwise, I will be back here tomorrow for another edition of the Daily Dish. And until then, thank you guys so much for being here today. And remember to continue to learn, grow, have fun, and we will see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, everybody. Ciao. Bye.